We will now have the hearing of the citizens. Mary Raich, followed by Barb Bourne.
1 year ago this month, you voted to close Laurel Valley Middle High School under the heading of fiscal responsibility and more educational opportunities. However, as I stand here today, this district is in a financial and educational mess. It is interesting that I came across the motion in the April 19, 2010 board minutes identified as Act 93 agreement for a 3-year period, which was fully supported by the board. I discovered it was the administrative salary and fringe benefit schedule for administrators. Some of the highlights of this package approved by this current board include a 2.5% to 3% increase over a 3-year period for each administrator. There is a service increment clause allowing $75 for each year served to the base salary. But what really caught my attention is the credit incentive, a $400 per college credit earned with a cap of 12 credits a year. In other words, $4,800 a year is provided by the taxpayers to send each one of you administrators to college. This school district educates administrators. I cannot believe that we taxpayers are liable for the cost of college credits. The irony here is that you approved a package of perks for the administrators unanimously on the same day you closed Laurel Valley Middle High School under the disguise to save money for taxpayers. You were spending as you chanted fiscal responsibility. Spend, spend, and spend. I also add here that there is no memorandum of agreement between the administrators and the school board which reflect the pay freeze that Dr. Olin stated last month. For liability purposes, there has to be a written agreement or it will haunt you when it comes time for pensions. Then on the same day you closed Laurel Valley Middle High School, you approved the submission of a grant proposal to the Ligonier Valley Endowment. The district then received $40,000 for technology. Sounds great, doesn't it? However, on the back of the request form, the superintendent earmarked another $38,000 from the Ligonier Valley School District funds to this request. Who gave her that permission? This is another example of not living within one's budget. Spend, spend, and spend. Then last month, Dr. Olin stated there was a selection process in the purchase of new assessment kits. As I inquired the names and positions of the committee, I could not find one mainstream classroom teacher. I find that unacceptable because the classroom teacher administers the test and uses the data to create individual teaching strategies. I also was informed that this selection process took place in one afternoon, starting at 2 p.m. And according to the memos, there was no mention concerning the selection process of the Scholastic Classroom and Library Group, for which you approved another $21,000 last month. I can only assume everyone was gathered in this short period of time to validate the superintendent's selections. Does the board not question this process? Why did the board not ask why these purchases were even necessary in such difficult financial times when there were other assessments already in place? Spend, spend, spend. Last month, Dr. Olin told the board she has a new reading-writing consultant who will be providing services to the district at a cost of $750 a day. I cannot understand why Dr. Olin keeps focusing on such services. Bringing in a consultant now and then might be fine, but that should not be the rule. The administrative employees of this district, who we keep educating, should be the ones providing the professional development for the teachers of this district. The costs spent on reading consultants for the last 2.5 years are over $1 million, and you allow her to spend, spend, and spend. Then on December 13th, 2010, you had a budget meeting appearing stunned that you needed 16 mils to balance the budget. To help wipe the egg from your face, along came Governor Corbett's cuts, possibly giving you an apron to hide behind. But we, who have been here watching and listening, know that the governor did not create this financial debacle, but it was all of you who are sitting up there. The attributes you claimed that would occur once you closed Laurel Valley Middle High School did not appear. You missed one of the most important attributes, and that is the proximity of the school to the community. Begin correcting that issue, and just maybe there will be a turnaround. You ignored an important factor to this equation. Schools need children to exist, and you chased them away. And may I add, after all these months, I finally found a common ground with Dr. Oldham, the value of kindergarten. Please keep all-day kindergarten.
I would like to just address two things. Number one, the Act 93 agreement doesn't have any new language in it that had not been in the previous Act 93 agreements. And so it followed the same template.
It should have been changed.
In addition to that, why Dr. Oldham has been spending time and money on reading and writing consultants, that would be traced back to the PSSA results at the end of the 2007-8 school year. LVE was 37 out of 37 schools in Westmoreland County. That demonstrated to the superintendent who is coming into the district that there was a great need for a consultant and program change. Thank you. Mrs. Boring, followed by Michael Raich.
I just have a few comments. I'm going to start by saying, let's start with this board speaking the truth. This district was in a financial disaster before the governor ever came out with this new budget. Before the people of this community stand before this board, we always have facts and figures to back up these statements. A lot of this information comes directly from right to nose. So when you, as a board member, state our numbers and information is incorrect, it is you pointing the finger at yourself due to this information comes from you. The people of this community would not have to request right to nose if this board would be upfront and truthful. From 2009 to November of 2010, there has been a total of 174 students that have chosen not to attend school in this district, with the total number today being 240. We have all heard about Achievement House, which is a total of 59 students, with the other 8 cyber schools having a total of 54. The total today is 113 by this board figures. The statement was given by Dr. Oldham at the last school board meeting as being a handful of students is in the other cyber schools. Let me state that 54 is not a handful. When one student decides to leave this district to attend school elsewhere due to what this school board has done, it is very detrimental to this district, as we are now finding out. We all hear about Achievement House and those numbers, but what I don't understand is why we have not heard any complaints or concerns about the 47 students that were in cyber school before the closing of Lower Valley High School, with an expenditure of $500,000. And Mr. Rafferty, as of today, you have not submitted a bill for the court trial. Mr. Smart has already submitted his bill, which was approximately $34,000. Why has a bill not been submitted? Is it due to that you are waiting till this budget is passed and taxes are raised? I am sure your bill will probably equal about $1 million. As a philosopher once said, the victor will never be asked if he told the truth. And Mr. Tannliger, I'm sure you will appreciate this philosopher's comment. It is not the truth that matters, but victory.